try and pull up traffic cameras and stuff, and I'll make sure you stay straight with some of these facts.
Yeah, yeah, we're on here right now live with Jeff P. in North Central California. We are discussing the Oroville Dam that is now being breached, the spillway. I'm going to go ahead and just share this screen real quick because right now there is a state of emergency in Oroville, California, and the communities that lie south of this spillway and this dam and this lake. And Jeff, you live pretty close to this area. What have you seen going on so far in this area?
All right. You know what? I don't see anything on the screen right here, but I see black screen. But I'll tell you what I saw, I was trying to upload the photos that basically they had blocked off a huge area. I had a drone that I was going to fly in. They had blocked off an area so large from the south side of the Feather River that it was totally blocked up. But there I did get a vantage point. I did post a video. I can show you what I did catch here if I can share the screen in it a little later. And I did it at the end of my video. I was able to see the over across the mountains that these trees. I'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah, I have a map up right now. I have a map up right now that was
I see it.
Yeah, this map was just put up. This is the lower evacuation area of Oroville. You know, something that I did not know is there is a power plant, a huge power plant that sits right there next to the dam. And I wonder if that's going to affect all of these people.
Well, absolutely. They probably most likely will lose power because MB333 captured it. That let's see if I can pull up his channel. That there was a spot that actually caught a power line. I actually got video. This leak is going right underneath the two sets of power transmission lines, and now 2 feet of one of the power poles is literally hovering over the air. The Earth isn't there anymore.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You know, the thing that gets me, you know, we were warning of this, and I mean, with any type of these earthen dams, and as old as this structure is, as soon as that massive hole opened up in the spillway, I mean, they should have been down there almost immediately, trying to pump concrete into that hole. Now, the matter of reaching that hole, listen, I was in, you know, major construction for years. They have massive cement trucks that have these long boom arms that can reach up or down over that spillway. And, you know, they might have been able to at least fill that with gravel, you know, some rocks, something to stop that erosion, because the dirt, the soil almost looks like it's kind of sandy, you know, like made of like a fine sand, which would actually erode very, very quickly.
That's right. It's basically an earthen dam with a concrete cap. That's it.
Yeah. No, I just spoke with a good friend of mine who lives down in Yuba City. Her name's Kathy. She got stuck in all of this massive traffic, and I've got some footage of the traffic jams that are occurring. And oh yes, absolutely. Helicopter views from the news channels I have, but people were absolutely freaking out. But they should have started this evacuation plan. They started it at 4:40 p.m. this afternoon. They should have conducted this in a mannerly fashion yesterday, because yesterday that massive hole opened up even more, and the water started, flowing pretty heavily. But she was able to get out of there, and she takes care of her elderly father, which is an emergency issue because the man is sick. But she was able to get over to her brother's house over in, I think, Roseville, California. Now, it's a very serious situation.
Roseville's a nice safety exit because if you're at Yuba City, you're going to want to take the higher ground and stay. You actually get off the 70 because there's a fork in the road where the 70, because the Feather River goes down between the 70 and the 99. If you take the 65, that takes you to the high ground. That's basically heading towards Roseville and will eventually take you to Highway 80. But if you stay to the low ground and you're following, this thing's right behind you.
Yeah, do you see my screen now?
Yeah, I found a live feed link too for Highway 99.
Yeah, this is you're seeing a picture right now. These are tweets that people are putting out, and this is just the beginning of these traffic jams. And I do believe this is a video from NBC, the Bay Area news station, and this is showing the traffic jams right now. And this is probably a few hours ago. Now, I was involved. I was involved in a situation like this back in Hurricane Andrew down in Miami, because I lived in South Florida for 22 years. And I got stuck in a situation like this during Hurricane Andrew. I'll have to blame my father for this because he was saying, no, let's just stay right here. And we lived on the Intercoastal Waterway, which is directly across the causeway, and there's the Atlantic Ocean in North Miami Beach. And my father was saying, no, let's just stay here. My dad lived in a big, gigantic house right on the Intercoastal Waterway, and I lived in an apartment building 1 block away. And we both lived on the Intercoastal, and within a matter of hours and not heeding the warning of the evacuation, all of a sudden, there was a report that the storm took a little bit of a turn, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, we jumped in his car and headed up to Interstate I-95 to head north. And we had about a 2-mile distance from the Intercoastal Waterway to Interstate I-95. And we ended up getting stuck in traffic. And we did not move out of that traffic jam. And Interstate 95 in South Florida is 6 lanes on each side going north and south. We did not move an inch for 3 hours.
Wow.
So it was a very, 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 very scary time. We were actually able to get all the way up to Orlando, which is about 225 miles away. And once we got up to Orlando, there was not one hotel, not one rat-infested, flea-bitten motel to rent. And we actually slept in his Corvette for 1 day. And the next day, as everybody knows, Hurricane Andrew ripped right through, Miami, South Miami, North Miami, and was absolutely total devastation. But this situation here, man, I'm telling you what, this is pretty bad. Here's another video that is on this this tweet feed. Let's take a real quick look at this.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? See those hills there? I was looking at this from for another hilltop, probably another quarter mile away. And you know what that looked like? That looked like smoke.
Wow.
It just looked like smoke from a distance. I'm like, you didn't know that was water raging down the side of the mountain. And I'll tell you what, when I saw that water bounce up hundreds of feet above the trees, I knew that wasn't good, man, because that's impact, dude. That's erosion.
Dude, that has got to be a very, very scary situation, man. That is a lot of water. Looking at this lake,
acre feet, right?
Yeah, looking at this lake from Google Earth really doesn't give you a perspective of how large this area is.
Dude, it's up there, man. They said 770 feet, and it's overflowing the top. It's 100% over, and it's 3 upper rivers, which can talk about that, is feeding this thing at 83,000 cubic feet per second. And then we got a storm that's hitting this thing in Thursday.
Yeah, something that I found out that I did not know was going on prior to all of this is in the past months that this lake was almost bone dry. There are pictures that they showed that this lake was basically about 50% full, 47%. And I guess it's like a recreational area, boats and things of that nature. And
Hey,
they showed photographs of this place, this lake, when it was like at 47% full, basically because of the drought.
I was just informed that the news agencies are basically telling everybody calm down, everything's going to basically be all right. I wonder, is there any truth to that? We can watch a live news feed that's saying that all is well and we can go back home.
Yeah, there was a report of that. My friend Kathy, I just was texting her as she got to her brother's house there in Roseville, California, and she told me the same thing, that they're stating that there is absolutely no danger to that dam breaking. But listen, let me tell you something. Being into heavy, massive construction of large buildings, condominiums, hotels, things of that nature, the stress from water and all of that weight on that dam wall and all of the pressure being released can cause this structure, which is very old, and because the outer edge is being eroded, that could weaken
The whole
a corner. Yes, it could weaken a corner of that dam that is near the spillway. If a large chunk of that disappears, then it will be like a domino effect and the whole damn thing will come down.
You know what? It sounds like we have conflicting reports. They one side of their mouth, they're saying it's imminent. And when this thing breaks, the spillway breaks, it will send 30 feet of water right into Yuba City.
Yes, I did read that report, and
imminent.
That is
it imminent or not? Now, if that spillway is sending 30 feet of water, I don't, you play with dams when you were a kid, man. It's not good.
Well, she was just telling me also that that Feather River, is that what it's called? The Feather River?
Yeah, which goes into the Sac River.
Yeah, it's already widened as we speak. Now you have to remember, everybody, that this is rushing water. Rushing water in that magnitude will erode everything, and especially if the soil.
The bridges,
oh God, yeah.
The bridges are going to collapse, though. You know what? You got to go to the .gov website. I just saw a sudden spike in the Yuba River spike. As of like in the last few minutes, you can see the Yuba River. It's called the UBC1 precision readout. I'm seeing it spiking even higher to, again, it says the danger speed is at 81 feet, but it has risen. It dropped a little bit, but now it's spiking. This is what I'd be watching.
Yeah, I have this, I guess this is the report from the sheriff's office, their press conference. This was a little while ago, a few hours ago. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Real quick.
I can't hear anything yet.
Yeah, it's very, very low.
And I've seen these press conferences. The first guy comes up and quoted 5,500 feet. And then the director guy comes out and says it's 55,000 feet. And now everybody's been misquoting the whole thing, saying it's only 5,500 feet.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you, man. These people don't look like they know what the hell they're doing.
You know what? If it actually was going to blow, do you really think them to go, oh my gosh, people freak out, stay calm, right? Even if it was going to blow, do you think they'd just say stay calm and leave? What can you do?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is a very scary situation. I mean, I'm not there, but here's a good photograph of the situation that we're looking at right now. Lake Oroville. The actual dam is 770 feet. Excuse me. Excuse me. The emergency spillway with the big arrow. And the spillway damage, now this damage is not showing up on this photograph because this must be
Right. It's
a
just an
newer
overlay.
photograph. Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, you show that photograph that we got on MB and Higher Truth channel. Remember that shot?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now you can see on this this quick shot here where Lake Oroville is. What do you think? Sacramento's what? Maybe like about what? Maybe 60 miles away?
Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, because
I
I
would say
know.
65 probably.
Yeah, because I know. I know. I mapped out Yuba City to Lake Oroville, and it was 30 miles. So that's about right in the middle. So yeah, you're right. It's probably like about 65 miles. Now this is
Yeah, from
something.
downtown.
Yeah, this is something that I was just mentioning. This says not long ago, Lake Oroville was so dry, archaeological artifacts were exposed. Now, here is a shot of Lake Oroville almost bone dry. I mean, whoo-hoo, look at this. And this is what I was saying. This is like a recreational area. Look at all these boats. They're basically jammed into an area of like a small river. And now, I mean, they found artifacts. And if you could take a look at this, now this is just showing you right here the type of soil that this lake is basically situated in. And it looks like very lightweight, loose, eroded, sandy soil. And I'm telling you, folks, this is not going to be, it's not going to be a good situation for anyone in this area. Here are some more photographs. Matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and pop this up. There's a cemetery that they're showing already that is flooded.
Yeah, we drove by that. Wow. It was only under a couple of feet of water when I went. I bet those tombstones are completely buried now.
Yeah, and I mean, this is this is a very, very old area. Now, oro, O-R-O in Spanish means gold, oro. So I'm assuming that maybe back in the early 1800s, mid 1800s, this was a gold rush area. So these tombstones that I'm looking at right here, they look very, very old. This is just a very sad situation. And then here you go. You have emergency workers just standing there pointing, just pointing at what they're watching as a massive catastrophe. Let's do something, people. This is what pisses me off about situations like this. They knew that this was about to happen. They stood around with their thumbs up their butt and just let it happen. I mean, really? Come on, man. It seems to me that they did like absolutely nothing to prevent this. There's those power lines up top. You still with me, Jeff?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just
I just heard a recent report. So my wife is watching the news that they said that they drained enough water out, it's no longer spilling over. Did we fact check that? That somehow the danger has been paused for now.
I don't even see how that's possible.
Yeah, you saw that spillway. I mean, you just got to believe them. I want to see live camera feed on this.
Do you know how long and how much water they would have had to release to lower that water level? That's. I mean, yeah. I looked at.
Well, you saw that break, dude. It was like several feet from that picture from you saw Higher Tooth. That was like I would say that wall that it was a sudden breach. I would count in my just looking at it like 5 feet. Do we really think that whole lake is going to drop 5 feet?
Yeah. And I mean, you live in this area. I was looking at the whole region in general, and right behind this lake is a series of mountains. How tall are those mountains? Is that a really elevated area behind north of this dam?
You mean East of the dam, yeah, we look at from Google Earth. I would say Lake Almanor and the top side. I'd say about 7,700 to 8,000 feet.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. See, and I mean, just from, living in an area where we have hills and mountains and stuff like that, and rivers and tributaries, all of the runoff of rainwater takes days. Now, we just went through a situation here in the Pittsburgh area where we went from a 60-degree day, and then hours later in the evening around midnight, we got dumped on with almost 8 inches of heavy snow. And then after 48 hours, the temperature went right back up to 55. Today it was 60. And I did a little quick video the day before yesterday showing the river rise down on the Monongahela River. But the runoff from all the melted snow doesn't come immediately. It takes a few days for that runoff in streams and other tributaries to run into the rivers, and then we have a whole series of locks and dams that go up and down these rivers, but they can only handle so much water at one time. Now, I do know. Hold on one second. Let me just because I was just looking at a satellite report from NOAA.
So
matter of fact,
it sounds to me like I want to know the truth behind this. Did they actually stop the water and everything's okay now? That's what they're telling. That's what someone been watching the news came in and said, you guys need to watch. They stopped. It's all okay now. And they just got through saying like an hour ago that the whole thing's going to break within the hour, at least the spillway, a portion of it, so that 30-foot wall of water is going to come through Yuba City.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand.
So
I don't know.
Or is it not going? How do they just suddenly stop that force? That's insane.
Yeah, that's impossible. That's impossible.
Now, is that fake news or not, man? Right? That's what I want to know.
Did you say your wife just heard that on the news, or?
Yeah, and you're like, you guys need to stop panicking and be fearmonger. I'm like, you know what? I'm just trying to look at both sides, but I got to tell you this: that they shut that thing down. That you can't look at it. You got to trust them to what they tell you now.
That's there's no way. I mean, first of all, I mean, okay, yeah, I could see
of the lamestream media.
Yeah, I could see evacuating the Oroville area because it's directly below the spillway and the dam. Excuse me. But going as far as 30 miles south to evacuate Yuba City, knowing that they were going to be able to stop the water. So right. that doesn't make any sense to me because
confliction. Why exactly is it imminent or not?
Yeah, because this is a large area. Now, let me ask you something because you're very familiar with this area. Once you get south of this dam, is this area relatively flat?
Yes.
Like Oroville.
So flat that the land fluctuates maybe 20 to 30 feet.
Oh, that's nothing.
I mean, it's like a totally pan area, like it was an ancient lake bed.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the map right here, and you can see the evacuation zone, but they extended it all the way to Yuba City. Now,
it's so flat that if you just look at the river, it doesn't even really look like it's moving.
Wow.
It's not a raging river. It's so flat, it doesn't really have the force to move it down a hill.
Well, guess what? It's a raging river today.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Now, what I was looking at was all of the mountains, the whole entire mountain range east of the dam. And all of that runoff, I mean, you can see there is a river that runs all the way from another lake.
Yeah, you've got a couple of them there. You've got
way up here.
Lake Almanor, you got Bucks Lake, and then you've got feeding this lake.
Man, this is a very, very, very serious situation for these folks. Now, you can see the Yuba City area right here, and I think there's an old volcano right here, an old butte.
It looks like a volcano, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually looking at it before. It is it's actually an old butte, an old volcano right there. Let's hope nothing happens, in that situation.
Yeah, that would
But
be not good timing in the middle of this.
yeah, so I don't know, man.
Are they saying that this area is so flat that this, if this whole thing blows, don't worry, West Sac, because it's all gonna just fill up this pan area here.
Yeah, that's
how
just
much truth is that?
Yeah, and then we have. I mean, if you're looking at this this current storm system coming in here.
Yeah, they call it the Pineapple Express or the Solar Storm or Solar River or
what do they call that? Yeah, Pineapple Express.
Yeah, from Hawaii to California.
Yeah, and this is I was looking at some weather patterns the day before yesterday.
Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, and I was looking at these weather patterns, and I was looking at them actually all over the world, and what they look like from the satellite, they look like small little cyclones or hurricanes. Not this particular, but what I was looking at the other day, all over the northeast coast of the United States, up near Maine and Nova Scotia into Canada, but also the same effects up near Norway and Sweden into the Scandinavian countries, these wild whirlwinds of weather. I mean, they just don't even look normal. And now you can see more weather. I'm going to just use my cursor right here, developing, coming up out of Mexico from all the warm air. And that's going to be moving directly over into the Midwest. That's moving right now up into Arizona, Colorado. I mean, they just had a flood situation in Nevada the other day. I think, I don't know if a small levee broke or they released water. I don't know what, I forget what they did, but they flooded a whole entire area. Just absolutely, I don't even know what to say anymore, I mean, the emergency situation, I'm going to just take a quick look at this future weather coming up here. Yeah, this is getting a little crazy. I'm going to just pull this.
Well, I guess we got to pay attention, man. But I find it really odd how they're going to evacuate Yuba City and then turn around and say they drained it all. It's all okay.
No, I'm not buying that one bit. I'm looking at this weather predictor, this map here, and this gives you all kinds of great information. I refer to it all the time, but you could see how warm the temperatures are. And it's just going to feed all of this moisture. And this will predict out, if I run the model, this will predict out the weather patterns all the way to the end of the month. I was doing this the other day, and it shows, let's go ahead and get into the precipitation. I'm
getting some heat from my wife on this. We're going to have to wrap this up, and I guess we'll have to sit and pray on this, man, because
yeah, not a problem, man, not a problem. Let me go ahead and
we'll just have to see, man, because now I'm getting reports that picture that Higher Truth Channels is a fake picture, did not break yet, and now it's a truth war.
Oh no, I know that guy. He would not lie. He's very forthcoming, very truthful, and like I said, I've already spoken to a very good friend of mine out there, and she said it is just absolutely a complete panic with people on the roads. She waited for over, I think, several hours just to get gasoline. Yeah. Because people were just in this crazy rush to get out of there. But yeah, go ahead, buddy. Take care of yourself out that way. Be safe, and I'll touch base with you, sometime tomorrow. Let me know if you hear anything. Text me, give me a call. And we'll definitely go from there.
Yeah, I just want to end this note on if it gets to the point where we can't get our own cell phones and cameras and everybody's evacuated, and then we've got West Sacramento still in danger, and they're like, nah, it's not broken, it's okay, but you just want to keep this evacuated. And yet we're stuck at the mercy of the lamestream media for what's imminent or not.
Exactly.
So hey, weigh it up yourself, but it doesn't hurt to keep gas your car and stay ready. All right, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Jeff, you take care. I'll be talking to you soon.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jeff P., Planet X researcher, good friend. He lives in the area just north of the this Oroville Dam. And again, if anybody has any other reports on what is actually happening, because I guess at this point it is touch and go with some of the news reports that are coming out. This is possibly a situation where now they don't want people to panic because they see what is happening on the roadways, traffic jams, people trying to get out of there. And if they knew that this was going to be an imminent factor with the evacuations, then maybe they should have started this yesterday in a better organized fashion. And I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen here again, and we're going to take a look at this weather pattern that is approaching. Now, this weather pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and play this because this predictor will bring this weather over the next several days directly into this area, and it's going to join up with another weather front that you can see with my cursor. Hopefully this will spread far north of the area, but the predicting models are bringing this storm and this rain into the central and northern California area by Wednesday morning, and then it will further drift onto shore through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week coming up. And as you can see, it's going to be a very, very bad situation for everyone living in this area. Now, we showed you the geographical area and the high mountain ranges to the left, to the east of Oroville. That runoff is going to go directly into that lake. And, well, there you go. I mean, it's going to be a very, very serious situation. And situations like this are going to continue throughout the whole month of February and going into the spring. We are having very, very severe weather patterns all over the world, just not out on the west coast of the United States. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pan out a little bit here. We're going to move back to today as far as our weather patterns go, and we're going to just take a look at what is happening all over the world. Now, I was mentioning these little cyclones of weather all up through the Scandinavian countries. You could see this warm air is still moving up. I'm going to go ahead and just get into the temperature map here. And you could see how warm this weather is. It's 36 degrees. And we're talking north of Norway, Sweden, and Finland in the dead of February. I mean, these temperatures up there should be well below zero. But yet you could see the temperatures are 36 degrees as far as now this is pretty close to surface temperature. So we're moving into some very, very trying times as far as our weather goes. Now, moving over into the South Pacific, temperatures in Australia. Now, realizing that, this is Australia's summertime, but I was receiving emails from a lot of subscribers of mine that live in Australia. And they were telling me that, you know, the energy power plants were being stressed. Some people were going without power intermittently because they call them rolling brownouts, where they will intermittently interrupt your electricity, basically to, you know, help out the energy plants. And I went through these in South Florida during the summertime season, and they do this. Now, there were temperatures in Australia that were reaching 116 degrees Fahrenheit. But then you go a little bit south, and the temperatures are 57 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can see, if you watch my cursor, this is right now. Temperature is 104, 105, 106, 107. Very, very extreme. And then you move not too far away over to New Zealand, and the temperatures are only 63 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're having very, very, very weird weather all across the world. Now, looking back to the United States, you can see this big Arctic blast of weather has receded way back up into Canada. And this is what was you know, causing all of the weird weather in the central part of the United States along the Canadian border for weeks and weeks. And now it has receded all the way back into Canada. I mean, we're looking at temperatures, okay, 17 degrees, 13 degrees, but these temperatures here should be well below zero. And we're going to just move right on into my neck of the woods. And right now we have very, very heavy winds. But today the temperature was 60 degrees. Right now, the area that I'm in, temperature is about 44, 45 degrees. We're under heavy winds. But again, folks, this is almost the middle of February. We should have temperatures that aren't reaching more than 25 degrees. We should have snow on the ground, but it's not the case. And this weird weather pattern, there's a reason for this. We all know what the reason is. This has nothing to do with global warming or climate change. Yes, our climates are being changed, but it's my hypothesis that because the Earth is being interrupted as far as its wobble. I spoke with a gentleman the other day through email who spent 35 years on the ocean, traveling from Norway to the United States. He was a captain of a large vessel container ship, and that was his main route back and forth from Europe to New York for 35 years. This man can navigate by just looking at the stars. He's retired now, and he has been logging and charting by compass what's happening. And the last report that he gave me is that there is at least a 4 to 6 degree difference on his compass daily. And he has this compass set up so he can take these readings. And this man spent 35 years on the ocean, a maritime captain of a large vessel. So we've been staying in contact for months now. And there was a very large fluctuation where he was getting readings of more than 8 degrees of a tilt of our planet. And if you just think about it, if you tilted the Earth backwards just a little bit, then that would push Arctic air further south. And as the Earth rotates, these weather patterns are going to change drastically, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And if we take a look at the jet stream, which we will do right now, just go ahead and pull this up and and see what we're looking at. Now, right now, this is the jet stream pattern that is coming across the United States. This is absolutely not normal. There is a massive break in the jet stream. I've never seen a jet stream pattern like this ever before in my life, and I've been monitoring weather for a long time. Living in South Florida and dealing with hurricanes every single summer, you get to know weather, you get to know weather terminology, and I've always stayed pretty much in tune with it. And to see a jet stream pattern like this, completely 100% totally erratic and out of control, there can only be one cause. Something that would upset the jet stream like this. And I'm just going to show you real quick with this globe. Okay, so we have the equator right here in the center. You know what, I'm going to just tilt this Earth back just a little bit. So if we were tilted back just a little bit like this, then you would see why the heavy push of all of that Arctic air would be forced downward into the central part of the United States. Now, let's move over to Europe. As you can see, there's two jet streams. There's one which looks like a cyclone of a jet stream right here where my cursor is. Now, this is moving directly across northern Africa. This absolutely incredible weather, and the jet stream has changed once again. And the areas that you see covered in the green color, this is very moderate and warm air. And moving down to the Antarctic, once again, I mean, these are absolutely 100% erratic jet stream patterns. And as I listen to weather reports here on my local news, and I'm listening to weather reports from AccuWeather and the Weather Channel, they kind of seem dumbfounded on what is exactly happening. I know on my local weather, they can't justify what is happening. And as I sit and I listen to them, I can see that they just don't know, they don't understand what's happening. Now, I have never seen a jet stream like this before. This is almost perfectly just rectangular. How is this even possible? Where is this even coming from? If any of you have the answers, I would love to hear them. Because never in my life have I ever seen a jet stream look like that. Just look at it. And where is that all going? Look, there you go. It's all moving directly into, well, what this would be Northwest Canada. That's going to stretch directly across the entire country of Canada. And then what you have here, this is the weather pattern right here that's going to be coming directly into the west coast of the United States. And this weather pattern is going to change again and again and again. I mean, we're looking at the east coast of the United States right here. Now, the extended weather forecast for my area over here on the east coast of the United States is so erratic, it's just mind-blowing. We're going to have a dip in temperatures. Like I said, today it was 60 degrees. It was overcast, but it was still 60 degrees almost in the middle of February in the Northeast. Now, over the next couple of days, the temperature is going to dip. We're going to have a little bit of snow. And then the temperatures are going to go right back up to the mid-50s by the middle of the week. And it's Sunday. It just turned Monday. It's now 12:01 a.m., midnight. We're going to take a look at the actual temperatures real quick. And everyone says that, you know, they're talking about this this climate change, a mini ice age. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, no crap. We're not going into any ice age. If anything, right now, the Earth is heating up. If you look at the patterns right now, all of the orange, all of the yellow, these are very warm and high temperatures. And yes, I realize this is the equator. But as you look further up into these areas that are slightly green and yellow, folks, this should all be covered in blue, signifying colder air. And as I was talking about these little cyclones of weather, you can see them right here and right here. And all of this warm air, once again, pushing straight up into the North Pole. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore as far as people that do not believe what is happening. I mean, if you just take a look real quick at the Antarctic, okay, again, this is supposed to be the Antarctic's so-called summertime. Well, yeah, the center of the Antarctic is relatively cold, but if you look at all of the underlying areas all the way around, it's warm. And look at all the circular weather patterns. They're like little mini cyclones all around the area, all around the Antarctic. Moving over into the South Pacific. Now again, yes, this is their summertime. But you can see these weather patterns. All of this cold air coming down from Russia, from Siberia. It's all wrapping down, but it's instantly warmed by all of the warm air in the center part of the Earth. And the temperatures are very warm. We're not going into any kind of mini ice age. That's a load of crap. If anything, right now, our planet is heating up. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that's what's happening. And if you continue to tilt our Earth backwards, and then all of a sudden you have this, our wobble is now worse than it was before. If the Earth continues to wobble, that's where you're going to have these incredible changes in your weather patterns. We're living it. We are experiencing all of this. The earthquake activity, well, you know what? We might as well just get right into that while we're here live. And let's take a look at what's happening. Well, there you go. We have some new earthquakes right now in California. The red dots. There was just a magnitude 2, Mammoth Lake. This area has been swarming with earthquakes for weeks, months now. Los Angeles, California. Nice swarm of earthquakes right there. This Mammoth Lake area, they've been having swarms of earthquakes here for quite some time. Kansas, 12 hours ago, 3.1. Oklahoma, magnitude 3. Now, these earthquakes, I don't have the USGS up here, but after a day, they remove the notification of these earthquakes. 4 hours ago, right off of the Aleutian Islands in Alaska, magnitude 4.4. Now, there was a much higher magnitude earthquake right off of the western coast of Canada that immediately when I saw it, it was a 5.7. The USGS downgraded it to, I think, like a 4.9. So why they're doing this, I don't know. El Salvador, right now, Central America, 10 hours ago, magnitude 4.3. Now remember, all of these earthquakes are not up here. Once this goes past 48 hours, they delete the information. But 12 hours ago, down in Chile, magnitude 4.9. There are catastrophes occurring all over the world right now that we're not actually seeing. They're not actually publicizing these catastrophes on mainstream media. I was just watching CNN, the Clinton News Network. They're sitting there talking about Donald Trump and blah, 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 but yet we have catastrophes occurring all over the globe. A lot of them are occurring in South America. You have fires in Chile, Argentina, flooding, Peru flooding. They had buildings collapsing from earthquakes, none of it being reported on mainstream media. A lot of earthquake activity right now in the Indonesia area. This has been going on for several days. Just take a look at some of the earthquakes. Magnitude 4.5, 5.2. And again, folks, they downgrade these earthquakes. They downgrade them. There's absolutely no doubt. Now, this is an update coming in. It's just updating the screen. And we just have another earthquake that just went off right in northern Washington 54 minutes ago. Small one, only magnitude 1.06. But what I'm saying is, how do we know that this is the absolute truth? Japan, magnitude 5. Guam, 9 hours ago, 4.6. All of these earthquakes are not showing up on here. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the European models because everything is different. You could see the swarm of earthquakes again through Turkey into Greece, and then they're going to be moving up into Italy once again. And something that's been going on that I haven't reported on is all of the earthquake activity in Iceland. A gentleman subscriber of mine has been emailing me constant information pertaining to what's happening in Iceland. And they weren't reporting any of this information till I sent an email to the European agency asking them, hey, what the hell are you doing? You're not reporting any information on what's happening in Iceland, and they are getting pummeled by earthquakes and the potential explosion and eruption of the Katla volcano. And when this volcano went off in the past, it sent a plume of ash into the sky. You couldn't even fly planes across the Atlantic. But yet, no one's talking about it. Well, guess what? Hours after I complained about this in my email, I did get a response, and then guess what? All of the earthquakes started to show up in Iceland on the European map. There you go. They weren't showing anything. So I guess it's just a matter of, hey, what the hell's going on? And let me show you. This is over the last 2 weeks. We'll just go ahead and zoom straight back into Iceland. It's not even showing that. They're not even showing all of the earthquakes. Huh. Yeah. And this is over the last 2 weeks. This is over the last week. Yeah, they're not even showing everything now. They're not even updating what's happened there over the past month, which is absolutely ridiculous. And these are supposed to be agencies that we rely on. They're not even showing all of the earthquakes all along the western coast of South America, which is being inundated with earthquakes on a daily basis. And Mexico, the same thing. They're not showing anything here and there. But I'm going to show you what's happening in Mexico. We're going to go directly to the Mexico Seismology Office, and we're going to look at the last 3 days. Well, there you go. From Central America up to San Diego. There you go. Here's a list of the earthquakes. They're non-stop. They're all in the magnitude 3s and 4s, and they just go on and on and on and on. The Colima volcano has been erupting. We're not hearing anything about that in mainstream media, but I can tell you this much, that volcano goes off, it's going to be some serious issues. And speaking of volcanoes, while we're here, we might as well just take a look at it, because volcanic activity around the globe has increased tenfold. And I'm going to show you the actual activity map for volcanoes that are erupting as we speak. Now, if you take a look at this map, here, I'm going to just go ahead and blow this up so everybody can see it a little closer. These are all of the volcanoes right now on the face of this planet that are erupting. All of the ones in red, every single one of them, these are all erupting. The ones that are in orange are basically intermittent eruptions. So, I mean, once again, folks, you know, I read the comment section of a lot of the videos that I do, and we have these people in the comment section, these naysayers or trolls, whatever you want to call them, the people that just don't believe. They make rude, stupid, idiotic comments because either they don't know better, they're brain dead, they have brain damage, or they're just government trolls out there spewing disinformation because that's what they're paid to do. And anybody that's in the comment section of any of my videos that replies to any of these people, don't even bother. And I'm going to give you another warning. Do not converse with these people. Do not give them your personal email addresses. What you should do is move over under their name, report them, and then block them. If they start showing up in your Google Plus comments, block them. You're doing me a favor and you're doing yourself a favor by getting rid of these people. It's like squashing a cockroach under your foot. So do me a favor, when you see these rotten people in the comment section, report them, click on their name, go to their Google Plus account, and block them. And that's the only way that we can stop the disinformation from these cockroaches, because that is exactly what these people are. And they'll be in the comment section telling you, oh, there's nothing wrong with the situation in California. Oh, the dam's not breaking. The spillway's fine. Okay, well, we obviously see that that situation is occurring right now as we speak. Weather patterns around the world are absolutely out of control and totally erratic. Earthquake activity is on the rise. And folks, let me tell you something right now. Today's the 13th of February. We are right in the middle of the month. By the end of the month, we're going to be getting out of this lull period. Right now, things are actually quiet. But by the end of February, going into March, what we're experiencing right now is going to look like a freaking cakewalk. Mark my words. Quote me. By the end of this month, going into March, things around the globe are going to increase tenfold, maybe even more. And I continue to talk about preparation. And you think that I'm joking? Okay, well then take everything that I'm saying as a joke, because I'm not joking. Just because you don't live in an earthquake-prone area, or you don't live in an area near a volcano, doesn't mean that a state of emergency can't happen. And let me tell you something about the immigration roundups that are going on right now, especially out on the West Coast in California. Folks, this was pre-planned. They need to get rid of as many people as possible out of the California, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas areas. Why? Because that's going to be less people they have to deal with when bigger state of emergencies start to occur, as we get into some very trying times with what's happening to our planet. And if you're watching this now, you believe in the same theories that I believe in, and that is Planet X, the Nemesis solar system, is affecting our planet. There is absolutely no doubt, because there's not a man or woman on the face of this earth right now, no scientist, no astronomer, no astrophysicist that can explain what's happening to our sun and what's happening to our planet. And if they do try to explain it, they're going to give you a big dose of word salad using a bunch of big words and models that don't make any sense to you, and they know that. They will talk right over top of you, and they want you to believe everything they are telling you. Why? Because they want to dumb you down. They don't want you to stand up and realize what's happening is a very serious situation. They don't want you to be prepared. It's a fact. The immigration raids in this country are going to continue. They don't have anything to do with terrorism. Listen, folks, let's just take a look back at all of the terrorist activity in the United States. Okay, let's just face it. Terrorists can get into this country from Canada. They can get in from the West Coast, Mexico. Listen, if they wanted to get into this country, they would be here already, and they would be blowing up buildings every day. What's happening in this country right now has nothing to do with terrorism, and this travel ban has nothing to do with terrorism. They don't want any more people in this country because they don't want the population getting larger. They want to thin the population out in the next 90 to 120 days. It's very simple mathematics. Subtraction. Start getting rid of the people that don't belong here, because those people need to go back to their countries. We cannot afford to take care of more people than we already have here. And this goes directly in line with the theories of depopulation. This is the first step. 48 hours ago, I spoke with a very good friend of mine. Her son was a state police officer, here in Pennsylvania. And 2 years ago, he decided to apply to U.S. Border Patrol. He was working in Arizona. 30 days ago, he got transferred to Southern California. Excuse me. The reason why he got transferred to Southern California was on an emergency notice. He told his mom that, "Mom, I think something very bad is happening." He couldn't go into a lot of the information with her at that point. But now, 48 hours ago, he told me that, or excuse me, told her that one of these briefings that they had is that in the next 90 days, they have to get rid of as many illegal aliens as possible in these states bordering Mexico. Why? Because they want to keep the people out and they want to thin the herd. Because I think they know that the state of California is in dire straits as far as what is happening right now, as far as weather and earthquake activity. So folks, listen, if you don't believe me, hell, don't come back to my channel. Sit there, watch mainstream media news, watch the crap news network, CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox, whatever. Let them direct you on what's happening. Because right now, with the state of emergency, what's happening in our country right now in California, CNN decides to sit there and continue and talk about Donald Trump. Who cares about Donald Trump right now? Let the man do what he has to do. These people are all puppets to the New World Order. They're probably just following direction. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I wanted to take a look right now at the sun while I have people's attention. I was just looking at some data on the SDO, and once again, there's our beautiful sun. The whole entire northern cap of the sun is one massive coronal hole. And what do we have coming at us again? This large banana-shaped coronal hole, which will be turning towards Earth within the next 72 hours, which will increase solar wind speed to probably 1.5 million miles per hour, blasting our planet with the solar winds, which are known and proven to cause earthquakes. Why is our Earth being heated internally? Well, this is probably one of the best causes. Our Earth being continually showered with these deep penetrating protons heating the Earth's core. What happens when you heat the Earth's core? You create internal pressure, internal heat, which will produce the tectonic plates to start to stretch, open, earthquakes, volcanoes. Does anybody else have a better explanation for this? Because if you do, I'd love to hear it. If you take a look at the southern hemisphere of our sun, this coronal hole, this massive coronal hole, is encompassing the entire southern portion of our sun, and it has been there for months. It has not healed. This light color purple that you see, this looks like a little cloudy pattern for layman's terms. Listen, basically this is like cloud cover over the sun in layman's terms. When this disappears and opens up the black coronal holes, this is unleashing all of that energy straight towards the Earth. They took down the feeds for the magnetosphere, the magnetopause, that protects the Earth from these solar winds. I still can't get on to the website to examine what's happening. It's intermittent. They took it down January 25th, so you couldn't examine what was happening with our magnetopause. Why would they do that? I'll tell you why. Because they don't want you to see what's happening. Radiation levels around the world have been on the rise for the past 60 days. Mike from around the world just took a UV detector, placed it in his hand, and looked up, and it was off the chart. It registered a 12 or 13, but yet on the internet and the weather stations and NOAA, the government was telling you that it was moderate. So his expensive handheld device is what? Lying? We're getting UV ratings around the world that are off the chart. How is that possible? Oh, but there's nothing happening. There's nothing going on, folks. Just go to sleep. Don't pay any attention to any of this. That's what they want you to do. They want to lull you to sleep. Well, don't buy that. You can see what's happening. We've been reporting on this for months on end. And it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Each and every day that goes by, we are getting one step closer. So if you're not prepared, take the opportunity to start to get things in order. It doesn't take that much to get prepared. Make sure that you have enough food and water and medical supplies for at least 30 days. If you want to go further than that, which I would recommend, you should do so. For anybody that takes serious medication, that your life depends on it, I would go to your doctor tomorrow and tell the doctor, say, listen, doc, I am going on a 3-month journey to the other end of the world. Is it possible that you could write me a prescription so I could get a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day supply of my medication? Because I'm going to be gone for a good bit of time out of the country. And keep those medical supplies, keep your prescriptions so you have them. Because in a state of emergency, what do you think? Rite Aid, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, you think these places are going to be open and they're going to fill your prescription? No. They'll be without power. There'll be no way to verify your insurance, and you're not going to get your medication. Do you think the stores are going to be open for you to go buy a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk? No, they're not. Canned food supplies, or you can visit my one affiliate sponsor, Food for Liberty. They specialize in this type of food and water, and this has a 25-year shelf life. So which means, yes, you can place an order today, have it delivered, put it in your basement, put it in your garage, put it where it's safe. Then if something happens, which it will, you're prepared. And folks, I'm going to tell you something also. Heed my warning. Have a means of protecting yourself. I'm not going to go into specifics, but have a means of protecting you and your family. and you know exactly what I mean. Have a means of personal protection. Please. So listen, there is a state of emergency in California. We wish them the best. Heed my warning, folks. We're going to be getting into some very trying times over the next several weeks and months. The passing of Planet X, Nibiru, the Nemesis solar system. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, from my years and years of research, and some people may think I'm a complete idiot, a fearmonger, whatever. I really don't care about your personal opinions of me. But this is not going to be an overnight experience, meaning it's not going to be here tomorrow and gone the next day. Planetary systems do not move through space in that fashion. Once we get into the middle of March, we're going to be into a very, how can I put it, strange planetary alignment, which I'll go further into tomorrow. I'm going to do a video on it. But these planetary alignments are also very dangerous to our planet. And it just so happens that on March 15th and 16th, and going into the beginning of April, we're going to be in a pretty tough planetary alignment with Jupiter and Venus, the Earth and the Sun. If you don't believe me, go research it. But as we move further into the spring, things are going to get worse. Mark my words. As we move into the month of May, once again, it's going to be a progressive stage of increasing factors. As we're moving closer to this brown dwarf is actually moving away from us. It is actually below the ecliptic, slightly below the sun. What do you think is affecting the sun? What do you think that is affecting the earth? Do your research. I do it every day. I commit 12 to 14 hours a day trying to find the truth, trying to get as much information as I can. And now it's becoming harder and harder because they're taking the tools away that we utilize every single day to bring this information to you. And sooner or later, they're just going to wipe us out. They're just going to take all of the information, all of the feeds, all of the access to the government internet websites. They're going to take it all away. They've already done it. They'll do it again. So I guess the ball's in your court as far as preparation. Get the food, get the water, make sure you have the medical supplies, and make sure that you have a means of protecting yourself and your family. I do preparation once a week. I try to do as much as I can in a systematic fashion. You definitely want to have some type of very large first aid kit. And I'm not talking about these little tiny ones that are as big as a cigarette pack. I'm talking a decent size first aid kit. Pick it up, put it away. I even went out and I bought a small camping gas propane stove, a little Coleman's stove. I bought some of the extra propane tanks. I have those hidden away. 30 cases of water. A lot of canned goods. But the bottom line is, folks, you know, these canned foods, I mean, if you fill up a bin with canned goods, well, it's going to take you and probably another person to try to carry that, because you're looking at 50, 60, 70 pounds. You're not going to be very mobile with something like that. That's why I reached out to Food for Liberty, because they have these types of foods prepared with a 25-year shelf life. I'll leave the link in the description box. Food for Liberty. We have to have a means of preparation. Flashlights, batteries, food, water, medical supplies, a means of protection, and a plan. You know, you could sit your family down, and if you don't want to scare your children, you can try to formulate a family plan softly with you and your kids. Because nowadays, a lot of kids just sit there, you know, watch TV, you know, they're on their cell phones 24 hours a day on Twitter and Facebook. You know, most kids don't know anything about fishing or hunting or being outdoors. What are they going to do when the lights go out? They're going to be scared. So what I'm saying is, prepare your family for an emergency. Make it a family event. Don't scare the crap out of your kids, but say, hey, listen, you know what? We're going to start, you know, talking about emergency preparation in case of any emergency. Make it a family event. This is what we're going to do. Get the children involved. Hey, you never know. One of these kids may save your life. And how they're going to save your life is by you giving them the know-how, the knowledge, and the education. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. Reach out to your neighbors. I have. Every neighbor around me is on board with me. We are already seeing the signs every single day. So, with that said, I'm going to end this broadcast. I will try to put together a video pertaining to preparation. We are going to keep our eye on the situation in Oroville, California. I hope God is with all of those people. I hope to God that that dam does not completely break. But catastrophic events are occurring all around the world. Animal die-off for the beginning of 2017 is off the charts. Whales washing up on shore, beaching themselves. Birds, thousands at a time, dropping out of the sky. Tens of thousands of fish floating up onto shores, dead around the world. Animal die-offs for the beginning of 2017 are off the chart. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Do the research. If the information's out there, it's very subtle. But you will find people that are exposing it. If you put all of the pieces of the puzzle together, people, you will clearly see that we are entering some very, very trying times. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to be prepared. And as I always state, don't be scared, be prepared. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. Thank you for watching. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button, set your notifications up so you get updates. Thank you for watching.